Hello and welcome to another Games Series race here. This week we are at Tsukuba Circuit in Japan with our first MX5 Cup Series race. We'll be alternating these races with our Manufacturer Series Group 3 races, and it looks like qualifying is off to a fun start already. We were just catching someone in the pits there. I think it was JBLP, and it looks like they have a penalty already for crossing the pit lane exit. But we will see how the rest of this goes. So apologize for the leak stream a little bit here. Just had a very fun morning here. But we are here and we are going underway. Our co-commentator, co-host, Brian will be here in just a moment. Let's go ahead through and we're going to work our way through the grid here. We do have some new drivers here today. And we do have some drivers that are only doing the MX5 Cup Series with Ames at the moment, just like this JDLP here. Actually, first time that we're seeing them racing, they've been showing off this livery all week, though. Been very excited for the race. So, we'll start off Tony Cow. Well, everyone's going to be in. I was about to say Tony Cow in the MX5. We are all racing the MX5 Roadsters. Cup Roadsters, and we're going a little wide. You definitely want to use all the green, but not quite that much green on that corner going onto the main straight. We do have some familiar faces, like I said. We have Steezy Nix, who actually Steezy, I believe, is just doing the MX5 Cup. I was just seeing them around. We have Boostman, who won last week's race at Barcelona in the Group 3, and that lovely Donut Media livery. Donut, if you're listening, sponsor us, please. We want money. Okay, thanks. We also have Crispy Nubbins over here, who was in the Group 3 race last week, and it looks like chromed out MX5. I like the little Mazda Speed logo there. Things are looking good on them. Those gold wheels too. And right behind them is Delps, who we saw last week. I think they were in the Viper. We actually have had some change-ups in the drivers' manufacturer cars as we see Crispy sliding around a little bit on the Miata. I apologize, we're still in practice. Apparently we're still in practice, that's my fault, everybody. We're just waiting for Ryan, our other commentator, before we begin quality. Apologies, everybody. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, getting excited. I didn't get to finish going through the driver's seat, but we are all on Sports and Softs tires, and in my testing of this track earlier this week, it led to, number one, these cars are a lot of fun to drive. Tsukuba is a circuit where it's a short track. We're having about minute timers, just a little bit above a minute over here. And the Sports and Softs allow for a little bit of sliding here and there. You can get the tail end out on this MX5, and it leads to some fun corners if you happen to get on the power a little too soon. Let's see who else is still out on the track. These guys are getting a little bit extra long practice session this morning, this afternoon for some of us. So, let's again go down. We have a new driver who just joined recently in the Discord, Arctic, who's proven to be pretty rapid. We actually did a just a fun open lobby on this past Thursday, and Arctic was very quick. We did an MX5 race. I think at Kyoto, and it was a blast. I actually got to race myself. We didn't stream it, but I got to race myself, and I was kind of keeping up with some of the guys, but not everybody. Arctic, however, blew past me. This, granted, I made a few mistakes here and there, but first is quick, so definitely looking to see where they end up with some of our best drivers like Tony and Gilly and Moose. We got Steezy over here in almost like the confetti seat livery. I love the look of this car. And they also have been proved. They looks like they've been doing a lot of work, a lot of practice from what I can see, on various time trials, at sports mode and whatnot like that. They're. Oh, hey, welcome. Let me, this is real life. Easy with the arcade carpet look. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it too. Then Rick. Let's see who else. We have a newcomer, Pato, who's actually a friend of ours, Ryan, from World of Warcraft days. He's not driving right now, but he did just get the game about a week ago. And he... I hope so. Yeah, he I know he really enjoyed it. He was there on Thursday when we were doing my boy Pato, you know it. He was he really enjoyed the Group 3 race that we did on Thursday as well, and he has jumped in as a reserve driver for the league. So it'll be good to see again how he gets faster and faster. I know he's been putting in some time and trying to practice for this today's race. He was doing a few 50-lap stints, I think, is what happened. I agree. Yeah, definitely it helps out. You know, sometimes when you're down bad, you just gotta step away and you know, get some time to cool off and come back. Now, I think we've seen purple in some of our preseason testing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's our first time seeing them in actual. It's our first MX5 race. So again, another driver that I don't think is taking part in the MX3 series. They may be a reserve. I'm not sure. Yeah, we were actually just talking about them, how on Sunday they were pretty quick. They were pretty fast, and definitely going to give... Well, they were there for the Miata as well. They were fast, so... Yeah, that's correct, yep. And, but they're A+ on, I think, DR for sports mode, so, you know, that means that they've got to have at least some pace, right? Absolutely. I'm trying to see if we have anyone else who's not in pits who is new. We do have some fancy liveries though. Demon with his T-Rex, bright green T-Rex Sprite livery. And I think that between his and I forget who else was showing us spooky livery, but it did give us the idea. For a maybe we'll have some sort of themed deliveries going on for certain events. You know, how Halloween, at least in the U.S., is pretty popular. I've heard it's spread to other parts of the world as well. But we may have that to look forward to. See some spooky looking Miatas. We will find out. Find out. Should be, and yet for some reason they're not. It's funny how you can change nothing in OBS. You don't touch OBS for a week, and it's just not doing anything. Or, you know, changes are made when sounds. Oh, you know what? It's probably Discord itself. Yep, here we go. All right, Ryan, can you try talking to one more time?
Test 1 2.
And there he is. All right, it doesn't sound like I'm talking to myself anymore. Wonderful.
There we go. Beautiful.
Yeah, Discord doesn't like this change with your system default settings.
Yeah, it's a real pain in the behind.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. People can enjoy me talking to myself, which, I mean, we're twins, so it's basically the same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, people have told us that all our lives, right? It's a real funny joke that we definitely haven't heard a million times.
Funny joke for sure, and
funny joke.
I'm gonna take a look at a new driver on the grid here, or at least someone that we haven't seen. I think we saw them in testing once or twice. Sakia over here. Once
Well,
again,
we did see them in the Group 3 race, I believe.
I think I was testing. I can't remember. It's funny how it was only a week ago, and yet there are things that we can't remember already. It's gonna make for a long season.
That's right. Hey, well, give me a minute here. My PS5 does not want to cooperate, but I'll be right back.
Sure thing. These guys are definitely gonna enjoy an extra long practice session in that case, which may be good for some of our newer drivers for sure. Unless we're starting quali, and I think that's exactly what happened. Go ahead and swap over to quali. Button. And we're following along with Mooseman right now, and he is just jumping right off the bat. We actually have 4 cars almost, jumped to the gun to try and get out on track immediately. Now, I can't remember, I think we're doing a 5-minute quali here, so it's a short track. But, you do have the out lap, which is going to eat into some of that time, so we'll see how it goes. So, Delps, howdy. Glad to see you racing today. So like I said earlier, we are all on sports softs. We will not have a safety car like we're planning for start like we're planning for our Group 3 races here. But we are doing a grid start for the MX5 Cup Series, and false starts are on. So hopefully everybody remembers to, not rev out their cars immediately, or at least put the brakes on, and that. I kind of like the grid start idea for this series as well, because it leads to, maybe some reaction timing, and if you can get a good launch and control wheel spin or anything else like that, especially if it starts raining to be here. So we aren't allowing any compound changes regardless of the weather here. And I think we do have some light rain, maybe it's a drizzle here and there on the docket for today. So maybe things will get a little spitty and a little greasy out there on track. And like I was saying earlier, you can definitely get a little sideways in these cars if you apply the power too soon
that's for sure.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I'm back. I apologize. I don't know. My TV was not liking to switch to my PS5 input. Things are happening here. But more interesting things are happening on track as we are in quali. It's going to be a fun race. This track, I think, is going to be perfect for some close MX5 racing.
Yeah, I hope so. And we will also be following this race up with a reverse grid race at Tsukuba as well. So that'll give a chance for the guys in back, maybe midfield and further back to get some fighting in. And it'll maybe allow the guys who stick up to the front usually to really flex their skills and make their way through the pack. And hopefully no one goes bowling going into the first 3 turns here.
Yeah, exactly right. As Tony Cal puts it in purple sector, it's going to be very easy to go bowling here. I'll tell you that much.
Well, especially right off at the start with the grid start, like I was saying before. We're seeing a lot of times coming up on the board. Arctic currently with the fastest lap to a 1:01.2. And I think this is, hopefully the idea with this MX5 Cup Series is to create some really close racing. And that's what we're seeing so far as these flying laps go, as Tony's running in the purple on his second flyer. We do have varying degrees of skill amongst the grid here. Oh, Tony going through with a 1:0.9. That's pretty quick. That is quick.
Pretty quick. In my testing around here, I think my fastest was a 1:01.2, 1:01.4. Again, like we said last week, we're not as fast as everyone in here, but that's a quick lap. I think 58 seconds maybe if you're really flying, but with the cooler weather and spots of rain, you're not going to go much faster than that, I think. But we'll see. We've seen stranger things.
We will see. Yeah, I think I threw like 10 laps in. I think I got like a 1:02.5. So, it looks like we're having some times around there, maybe some a couple of low 1:03s, and some of these guys saying that they haven't practiced much. And I think if you're not practicing, you just don't want to win.
If you're not practicing, you ain't trying. Oh my goodness! I just took a look at Mr. Labu's awesome livery, keeping the pumpkin dream alive.
We haven't gone down to Labu just yet. I've been meaning to go through, but it's been a bit of a hectic start to the stream so far. As we see Mooseman and JDLP coming up here on another lap. Boostman goes a little bit wide.
Very wide there, yeah.
You definitely do want to use all the track there.
Yeah, hey, listen, if the game's not going to give you track limits, you might as well abuse that section of the track, right?
Oh, well, you can. That entire green section of the track, you can go 4 wheels off.
It's amazing, isn't it? I know. When I was, getting some practice in yesterday, it was pretty wild.
Yeah,
and more power to you. You know, the wider you are there, as long as as Mr. Lobby turns right into a straight.
I don't think that's how you're supposed to do that.
No. I believe a straight, you make a straight. Keep it that way.
I want to take a 9 real quick and cycle on down. He's a... There we go. I'm learning how to use these keyboard shortcuts. Try and cut between cars. But I wanted to take a look at Pato's livery. He was talking this up to us when we were talking on Thursday. He said he didn't want to show it off yet. I don't know. It's very America themed livery. It looks like, and he got grills. The
car club. Well, he coming from a former WoW player, which is where we met Pato. You know what? That livery makes about as much sense as him playing Warrior. So
he is truly sucking as he goes off across the grass here, trying to make up some time.
He's trying. He's gonna have to rein in those times. You know, not be too brazen on the gas to pull ahead. But you know, this track, while short and sweet, it can be a little bit unforgiving if you just there might be some contact between Lobby there. Lobby not paying attention.
It's always hard when maybe you have pace on someone in front of you who is a little bit slower.
Yeah, I agree. You know, you just have to be patient and just wait your turn. You know, you can't overtake in every corner, and sometimes it's just wise to wait it out, and you'll have your moment if you stick up behind them too. You know.
Absolutely. Now Labu has an amazing livery this week. I gotta give it to him. And you know what's wonderful on these MX5s is that we're going to be very easily seeing his helmet livery, which, in case you haven't, there it is. That's a great shot of it right there. If you haven't seen
that is straight nightmare fuel there. That's what that is.
That'll be fun to see as we go through the race. Purple, he's got colors everywhere. The giant pumpkin on the front, Heath in the back, representing Malaysia on the front there.
It's bold, but I kind of dig it. I gotta say,
it's bold. You know what? It's what was it? What was that? What was that movie with Blue Steel and the fashion guys? Hans, he's so hot right now.
Oh, that is a fantastic movie, Zoolander.
Zoolander, yes. I was just thinking about how bold and different he is right now, and I'm enjoying
exactly
it.
Right.
I'm enjoying it. Let's try and go along here. Pato's coming out on 12. We'll go back to Sakia over here. Sakia using a different number plate. It looks like he's made some edits to that. I like the livery though overall. It's clean with the stripes on the bottom. And,
yeah, me too. You know, honestly, it kind of looks like a toy car. I guess that's what the Miata is.
for some, it's a dream car and it's a cool car. I love the Miata.
Why not both?
You know, I think it's a
absolutely.
Car.
I'm a huge fan of it. You know, I'm almost surprised by Tony Cal's livery. It's good, but it's a bit tame from him.
We'll cut over to Tony Cal. I think it's really clean. That looks great.
Oh yeah, no, definitely like the look of it.
Yeah. Well, you know, he was saying about his other cars, and we'll see his new livery for the Manufacturers Cup coming up next week. But he was saying he was really enjoying the half color car, where one half is one color, one half is the other. But I do kind of like this one a bit more. It seems I think it looks great. The colors go well together. As he goes, spins right into the barrier. That's not nice. Barrier didn't do anything.
That was the same thing that Mr. Lobby did a few laps ago. So definitely a moment where if you're on the gas too quickly, too hard, like we said, these cars are going to get away from you.
It's really easy in that turn as well when you're getting.
It's very easy.
First right-hander. You just want to get on the power ASAP, and it's quick to.
You got to be patient and ride it out.
We got Yuma in chat, who is not racing in this series with us, but they are racing in the Group 3. Hello, Yuma. Thanks for
hello there, Yuma.
To the stream and whatnot. Yuma, are you sticking on the BMW for the Manufacturer Series? You are, right? I know, like I said, I know that we had quite a few changes. So we allowed people, I think, up to the second race change of manufacturer based off of how their first race went and how they were feeling with it. So you'll see next week. We won't get into any details, I suppose, here today on that, but you'll see next week if you tune in who's changed to what. And you know what? I feel that just makes more work for us. We gotta remember who's changed to what now and make all that. But that's all right.
No. The racers don't care about the commentators. That's fine.
No. We're bottom feeders.
That's exactly right. We do.
Well, maybe not. But I will say no one's touched the fastest lap here set by Tony Cow in his I think first or second flyers.
Yeah, I'm amazed, to be honest. I mean,
I think that's a quick lap.
He's been very consistent though, looking at those track times.
Absolutely, I don't think you're really going faster than that. And as Tony Cow pulls ahead of Pato there. In fact, like we said, newcomer to the game. I'm happy to see him jumping in with both feet. And listen, I wouldn't have done that, to be honest with you. And kudos to him for jumping in.
Yeah, no, same here. He is bringing the WoW mentality to Gran Turismo, I think, and it's a grind. But more power to him. Maybe he'll be faster than me in a few races. Not to say that's a very high bar, but it is a bar.
I did on the practice, so I'm surprised. Yeah. People keep saying. I think Phelps might be sandbag. I don't know. Who said he also didn't practice?
Here.
Who said he didn't practice? He's up in third right now, and as the last racers are going to be coming over the line. So Tony Cow provisional pole, and it looks like he may be holding on to that. That was a very quick lap.
It looks like everyone else is done, so everyone's putting their laps.
Excellent.
We'll see the results here in a minute. Now remember, it will be reverse grid for the second race based off of where they finish. So could there be some strategy maybe in aiming for the middle of the pack or something? I think everyone just want to want to win both races, though.
I think so, and it's important to note here as well. We don't have any tire wear, we don't have any fuel wear, so it's just gonna be hard racing for the entirety of the race with no stops, and that's what we wanted. A close or hopefully close grid, and it looks like for the most part that's what we have here today. So definitely looking forward to this.
Not have to worry about it. And just get on with it, have fun, and that's really part of what I think is part of the reason why Tony Cow set up the series like he did, just to have fun. Group 3 cars, it's a blast. I prefer them to everything else in the game right now, but there's more strategy involved there, and more places where maybe especially with the different cars, yours may be suited to others.
Yeah. And Delp's throwing some shades and he got held up by Labu. Ooh. Well, we'll see. Labu, even on testing, they seem to be pretty rapid in the Group 3, but not getting along with Miata. Of course, it is a completely different driving experience. And, it's like almost comparing apples and oranges. Some would say, why can't you compare apples and oranges? They're both fruit. But, it's just the saying, so don't yell at me, guys.
Or pumpkins. I think we're going to get underway here. We just gave Tony Cow the green flag. Delps, if obviously feel free to use the incident reports in Discord if you do want to report anything. But we could always look at it afterwards. We do have stewarding going on here between myself, Wally, and Tony Cow. We review things and we'll dish things out appropriately. But here we are. We're going to get going around Tsukuba Circuit, the first race of our MX5 Cup Series. This is hopefully going to be a good race, and I think the weather is going to make things a little bit more interesting.
I hope so. I heard in practice that the rain didn't stick around for super long. Of course, I think we are just doing kind of a randomized, throw it into a randomizer and it spits out what weather to begin with, what weather to start with, and the game will make it up from there, I believe. But yes, hopefully we do get some interesting starts here. Let's go ahead and start our spectator.
Especially with the grid start, don't get caught sleeping.
Yep, that's true. Grid start can definitely help shake things up.
Exactly right.
False starts will be penalized. Be sure to keep your foot on the brake until the race starts. Here we go. 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and we're waiting for the lights to go out. And we are off with our first Ames MX5 Cup Series race here at Tsukuba Circuit. Tony Cow with pole position, and he is cutting over right in front of Arctic, maintaining that pole position going into the first turn here. Hopefully no bowling. Things look pretty safe so far.
Yeah, Demon went a little wide there at turn 1, but looks like no one really got harmed. They were, I think, 3 wide on turn 1 there, so.
I'm sure they were. That's, I mean, I don't know if you've happened to, look at any, like, MX5 Cup races in real life, but these guys are going two cars wide, 3 cars wide.
It's incredible to see.
It's fun to see.
The car control is just immense.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you really have to be able to know who's around you and how much room you have, and make sure that you're giving enough room, because you must always leave it to space, as we know, and hopefully all of our drivers
to space. That's one of our first rules, I think.
Somewhere in the rules and regulations. And like I said, just minute laps here, so it's going to be fun to see. I'm sure the grid will spread out at some point, but we're coming along, and we have just crossed into our second full lap. And it looks like the cars are starting to fall into place here a bit. Tony Cal maintaining first place, though, like I said, we know Arctic will be pretty fast, and I'm sure Tony's going to be feeling the pressure. I'm sure at the same time, though, he just wants to be moving out and away.
Oh, I'm sure he wants to make that space, but again, on such a short lap, you have to be rampant compared to your other drivers to really create that gap. And if you're too rampant, you're going to run into the back markers and have a lot of traffic. So
that's your run into the grass first.
We do have a battle here. I mean, really, P2 through 4 right now are definitely up for grabs. As Mr. Labu is making a move, possibly. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was the Crispy behind Labu.
Oh, we'll go ahead.
But the field is separating, looking like we're gonna, we'll have a few different races going on at once, which you always love to see.
Absolutely, and Crispy, I'm actually liking that livery more and more I see it over here. Easy Nix goes wide into the grass, carrying maybe a bit too much speed, getting a bit of a draft from the front of him. That's going to slow him down, but it looks like he's settled back in behind Delps. We have Purple Urkel, maybe getting a little bit of a tighter line. We're going to cut down to those two real quick and see if Purple's able to get the run in on Steezy, or if he's just going to maybe, play the long game and hold out before he might go for a move here.
Yeah, that's, I saw Steezy go on the grass as well during practice or quali, and I think it was around the same conditions, so we'll have to see how they can manage. Obviously, if the track dries, it's going to be better for everyone, but Steezy looking again a little squirrely there. We saw just before the frame change.
A little bit. I just wanted to take a look. I saw the 2 cars very close together on the map, and this is JDLP on the behind of Mooseman.
Yeah, he's been up there for a couple laps now.
Yeah, he is a driver that we haven't really seen yet, but like I was saying, I think before you got on, just talking about this livery that they made, and the car does look good. Making sure to give just enough space for Mooseman, but man, this is close. I think it's just a matter of time. Might be on this exactly right there. JDLP slips into third ahead of Mooseman. Let's see if Moose is able to keep on top of him or not.
And while you're watching this race, I'm just watching Tony Cal increase the gap to Arctic behind him. We're sitting around a 1.4, 1.5 second lead. But Arctic is keeping up. Hopefully we'll see them close the gap. Looks like we do have a couple of gaps down the lead, down the race though.
We have
sitting in 12th there with the gap to Seiko. And then a gap to Demon, who's caught up. Demon was in last place. Demon caught up to Crispy and that whole train there. So that's going to be some good fighting.
We're going to cut over to that train real quick, actually.
Yeah, there's some good action there.
There's a lot of cars going on here. I do wish that we were able to see the full grid on the left-hand side of the screen, as far as timings go and whatnot. But we'll work with what we have here. Urkel seems like they're pretty quick around here, giving these guys a run for their money.
Absolutely. Looks like we're getting some internet outage there, but looks like it's cleaned up on Twitch's end. So apologize for any sort of lag. We haven't had any lag actually in weeks, so hopefully it's just intermittent there.
Yeah. This is the kind of racing though that we wanted to see from the series, and so far it is delivering. Like I said earlier, we're sure the grid is going to separate it here and there. We have people with varying skill levels, varying tenure, I suppose, is a good term for it.
Crispy goes off into the grass.
Crispy Nolan's going a little bit wide, and right behind him, Sakio also looked like they went wide.
Yeah, there might have been some contact there. I couldn't really tell. I know Crispy seems to have had some personal lag issues, and sure that could play a factor into it, but they were doing well to catch up there, so hopefully they'll get back to the pack. We have a few people kind of running alone right now, and like we said last week, you really just want to put your head down. Put your head down, put in those laps the best laps you can manage, and just catch up as fast as possible.
That's absolutely. You're going to cut back to the front of the grid here, where Arctic maintaining, about half second.
No, that's come down by a second about.
Wow. Tony must have gone wide a little bit somewhere. I didn't get to keep an eye on that time difference, but because I think the last time I checked it was about half second or so.
Yeah, and Mooseman keeping up with JDLB. I want to make sure I got those in the right order.
Should I call him JD? I think that's...
JD works, yeah.
JD works.
And from a distance, Mr. Lobby was watching that race go on in front of him. So, again, spreading out, seeing these different races. I mean, really, though, we still have P6, 7, and 8 all in contention. P9, Demon and P9 not too far behind them, going to catch up. So, we have quite a bit more racing to go. It's going to be fun to see how it plays out.
That we do, and, anything can happen here. The nice, like I said earlier, the nice thing, we don't have any tire wear. We don't have to worry about that. It doesn't look like we really have any real threat of rain at the moment. Of course, things can change, but so far these guys are just able to go, flat out lap after lap after lap, and we do know that it takes a lot of concentration to maintain that sort of pace and perform at your highest ability for the duration of the race. So anything can happen. Anyone can make a mistake here or there, and that will allow someone behind them to take that position. Right now, though, it looks like Tony Callow has once again increased the spread from Arctic over here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Even with him having a moment a little bit earlier going onto the grass, looking good for Tony Cal. I'm just catching up on Twitch chat, and I saw Vidrick Steezy with the Arctic carpet. Look, that is exactly right, and it's a good-looking thing.
It is. And actually, we're going to cut back down right a little bit.
Actually, speaking of Steezy, we got Delphus right up behind him, and Urkel looking like maybe they'll be able to reap some rewards for these two fighting. We'll have to see. God, does that thing look good though?
That might be my favorite livery of the day. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, me too.
And the Ames number plate on the back. Ooh, that's a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
good job, Steezy.
It helps saying that they had some more pace in qualifying, and that they were held up by other races. So we'll see if they're able to get past Steezy. Steezy's someone who, again, was sandbagging a bit in the Discord. I feel like, they were saying, I'm not going to be anywhere near these guys, blah, 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 blah. But for what I've seen so far as time trials and, being on your friends list and be able to compare times, they put in the work. And so far it seems to be paying off that they're maintaining this position in the race.
Absolutely. They definitely have pace as a driver, I think. Maybe a little bit inconsistent here and there. And as we keep saying, I think inconsistency is your biggest weakness, right? Or your biggest letdown. You could be fast as hell, but honestly, look at Charles Leclerc. Amazing driver, I think, for Ferrari. Really has the talent and the ability to drive fast, but inconsistent sometimes. Where Sainz, I think, has that consistency, and it's the same results a lot of times, or similar results.
Well, yeah, that could just be also consistency with the car being consistently not great to drive either.
Or the strategy. But, Steezy definitely put in the work. We had the daily race this week being around Trial Mountain and Group 3 cars, and they fucking worked at it, and I think cut out 5 seconds or 3 seconds of their time. I mean, they really were just killing it.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of time. And this gap between him and Phelps, I mean, it's close. It's close, and I'm sure that Steezy's feeling a bit of pressure coming from Phelps, but so far we're not seeing many mistakes from him, I'd say. But, that also gives Phelps the toe, and behind him gives Urkel, the more fighting that they do, gives Urkel the benefit of possibly being able to get ahead as well. So we'll have to keep our eye on this as that gap still maintains about 0.3 of a second now.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, there's not much else going on the track. We do have substantial gaps between a lot of the drivers, so this is they're keeping it entertaining for us, which we appreciate. Coming over to Twitch chat, Yuma's asking, what were your favorite liveries on the first race of the Manu Cup?
Ooh. You're asking me to remember something a whole week back now? Yuma.
Well, all right. I gotta be straight up, Yuma. I do like your livery. I think it's a safe bet, but I do like it.
I like it. You know,
it's very cohesive.
Yes, I'm not a big fan, and I mean, you may have, if you looked at my livery that I made on the Renault, I'm not a big fan of terribly busy liveries. You know, so anything that's clean and maybe a bit more minimal, I'm all for. So Yuma, I do have to say that you're definitely up there as far as the livery from the Manu series last week. Tony Cal, of course, I think his NSX looked great as well.
Yeah, he's gotten quite good at making good looking liveries. Yeah. I don't think there was one that I really disliked.
Oh no! You know who was the worst?
Oh, who's that?
Delps in the Viper, and he knew that from the beginning, though.
Yeah, I had kind of, we told him in the Discord.
I'm sorry, Delps. I don't want to be mean, but we're just throwing out there.
Hey, you know what? It's everyone's opinion.
It is.
Delps, if you liked it, great.
Yeah, that's all. Livery's for you more than anybody else. So listen, I'm all for it.
That's exactly right. Do what you like.
I don't know if while we were talking about the liveries, though, it's easy now. 1.3 seconds ahead of Purple. Looks like Delps is now behind Purple Urkel. So I don't know if Purple was going to make a move there or if Delps made a mistake. I didn't get the lead. But
I didn't catch it either. I was looking elsewhere at different racers, but
yeah, we'll cut back to him. And I mean, Delps is right up against Purple now, and so this will be it'll be fun to see Purple if they're able to defend here. And again, a driver that we haven't really gotten to see before, and I'm definitely looking forward to maybe learning and understanding these drivers' driving styles a bit more as these series continue, and we're able to kind of see where they're able to defend, where they're strong, where they're weak.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be one of the best parts, just not for us, just as commentators, but as for the racers as well.
Purple spins out, and they're in the grass, giving Delps 8th position back, and that's going to let Demon get 8th position. I'm sorry, Delps Demon up to 8th, Purple down to 9th, and there is still the gap though, so he's safe in 9th right now. We will have to keep our eye on Purple and see if they're able to make some time up. But, oh man, this livery actually looks pretty great. I gotta be honest. I think Demon's got a good one going on right now.
I agree. I think we did lose someone from the race. I'm not sure if it was a connection issue or not. We'll have to take a look at that. I can't recall exactly who it was, but we did lose someone.
Well, let's go on. We'll take a look down the grid here. We'll jump up Pony Cow. We got Arctic. We got JD, and we got Moose. Doesn't look like much has changed here. Pony Cow maintaining, I mean, the gap is growing ever slightly, but they're on the straight right now, so, you kind of, we'll have to see how things go, but good on him for the consistency, and honestly, all these guys will get pretty consistent up in front, maintaining the gap between them. And
yeah, so far it's been so good, I think there was maybe a couple of racing incidents, but especially in the first lap, you have to expect it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just kind of a thing that's going to happen. Especially if you're going 2 or 3 wide into a turn, it's hard to leave space for everybody and whatnot. But
exactly right. Now, last week, or maybe it was earlier this week, we were talking about the intimidation on track, and it's not people, calling. You can't cross-communicate like that in Gran Turismo. But it harkens back to something that Carlos Sainz said at the Formula 1 race at Red Bull Ring, how Perez was behind him, intimidating him. And how do you take that? For me, I kind of take that as you yourself are kind of psyching yourself out because someone's right behind you.
Yeah, it's a mind game for sure. If you're constantly looking in your mirrors and you're seeing somebody behind you and maybe you can't shake him, or it's definitely tough. I know for myself, it's hard for me to run laps when I have someone behind me. But I think that also for me, I don't know about these guys, someone like Carlos Sainz. But for me, racing, I get intimidated. I don't ever want to run into someone, or maybe I have a breaking point in my mind that might not be optimal, and they have a different breaking point in mind, and that causes an accident. You never want to be the cause of two cars colliding. So that's the intimidation part where I tend to fall short. I think is like I might not be on the racing line, or I might get off the racing line because I don't want to cause it instead of just going for it.
Yeah, I think you have to pick your battles, and we definitely see that from racers. And the only reason I bring it up, Labu having a moment there. Is that going to get the space up to purple? We'll see.
I mean, Labu was running 5th in no man's land, and then they spun out, and that just lets you guys go by.
That's right. So I will update you here. Looks like we do have our first member that was lapped. Tony Cal, Arctic, JDLP, and Delpis, I believe, have lapped Pato.
And Moose
not having some consistent times, but it took 15 laps for that to happen. So we'll see how the traffic continues. It could hinder them, but I feel like most everyone's pretty spaced out where it won't really be an issue.
Absolutely, and that's bound to happen on such a short track. If you're 3 seconds behind, the front runners, it's only a matter of time with a minute-long lap or so that the lapping will happen. And then again, like we said, for someone brand new to the game who's been playing a week jumping into a race, it seems like they've been pretty. We haven't seen anything. At least this is their first race. But when they were in practice on Thursday, we didn't have any complaints about any bumping or unsafe driving or disrespectful driving. So
exactly right. We do have a couple of battles going on right now between 9th and 8th, between Urkel and Mr. Labu, and it looks like Delpis and Steezy in 5th, Delpis in 6th. So we might see some overtaking action happening soon here.
We'll keep our eye on Labu and Purple right now if you want to keep your eyes on Steezy and Delps.
Absolutely. Looking like some clean, respectful racing. But, coming back to that intimidation, I was wondering if that's what happened to Urkel. It's going to be tough. I think I prefer defending rather than attacking. But it's tough. It's not an easy game no matter what.
Not at all.
What's your stance on it?
I don't like competition.
Oh, we lost Crispy.
Oh, it's Crispy. You did say that he was having a little bit of lag there. Maybe that's.
Oh, maybe that's who it was that let. Did Crispy have the silver car?
Yep, chromed out.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
That's unfortunate.
Maybe he'll be able to make it into the third race. If we open the room up, I'm not sure if that's. I'm not sure what the protocol for that is, or if it's just going to be a DNF.
That's right. So we just saw Pato and P12 get lapped by Steezinix and Delpis. Delpis closing that gap even more. Looking for a space. How's Labu and Urkel doing?
There's about a half-second gap or so between them, so I'm actually going to cut over to Steezy and Delps here real quick. I saw them.
Yeah, looking very close there.
Looking very, very close. He's done a good job so far in this race, though. I mean, looks like they've been consistent and they've been able to make up for people's mistakes. But Delp's going on the inside. Things got a little sideways there. I don't know if that was any contact or what, but Delp's pulling ahead of Steezy. Do you happen to can you mark it down?
Yes, I can.
Awesome.
Lap 18.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that there was no contact that may have caused that position to be given up. But if not, good job on Delps to make it past. He's been stuck behind for a while now, and it requires a lot of patience. And to see the same back in the same car lap after lap after lap. We're around 19 laps at this point, and sometimes you just want to see some clean air out in front of you.
Absolutely, it definitely can be frustrating. It can be annoying too. You just want to unleash the beast, especially in these sweet Mazdas. But really, it can wear on you, and we see that in real life. We see that in sim racing. So we'll review that, just check on it. But we do have a Discord. This Discord is for racers only. Unfortunately, we don't have a public forum, and we just want to keep it tight knit so that way we can get the information to our racers as we can. But again, if they feel like it was, if warranted, it could be put up for review.
Absolutely. We have those four. I want to take a quick look. Let's see. I wanted to jump up here. Tony Cows, looks like that gap has come down a little bit. I happen to see them get quite close in the hairpin, so I just wanted to see how we were doing here. About a second still, but it does look like Tony Kalinowski are pulling away from JD. This JD looks like maybe they go a bit wide in the second hairpin of track. But I will say Boosman kind of dropping off from everybody and currently in no man's land. And
yeah, very surprising to see. But you know what? In our weeknight lobby this week, we raced the MX5s, and Mooseman didn't seem to be having too good of a time in there either. And you know what? These cars are for everyone, but it's for pure fun.
That's all. That's all it's for. I personally, I find myself, I have a better time in the slower cars. I don't know if it's because I think the Miata is a car, the MX5 is a car that's truly like momentum based almost. Where we're gonna jump onto this battle real quick. Oh, as we see some contact, forget my rambling. We see some contact between Steezy Nicks and Delps at turn 1 as Steezy takes 5th place back. We're gonna mark that one down again as well. Delps will get off the inside.
Going back again. I don't think Steezy was leaving the space there on entry, but on exit, looking like they're getting their elbows out for sure right now.
Getting their elbows out for sure, and it's unfortunately tough to tell, with the lag and a little bit of rubber banding, the movements that don't look quite natural, but we just want to be a bit, overly cautious, or I suppose, make sure that everyone is having a safe drive.
Yeah, absolutely. You never want contact to come in. As they're coming at each other again, Steezy and Delpis around the last corner, down the straight. This is going to be a drag race right here to turn 1.
Drag race right here. Steezy may have gotten a better exit, but it looks like they're still really, really close.
Steezy on the inside too has all the control for now.
Tell us which wins without telling us which wins, right? Steezy take off on the inside. That was really good defending by Steezy. And, we see
now this here, he left the door open.
Oh, he's getting a little squirrely on there. There's once again side by side. Going to the next right-hander. Steezy's going to have the inside and maintain 5th place, but for how long, we're not sure. I mean, listen, kudos to both drivers for trading places and hopefully having some clean, looks. And I don't see any damage on Steezy. We're going to jump to Phelps real quick. No damage on his side. So, like I said, might have been some light contact, but nothing just ruining at this point in time.
Exactly, but look who's behind. Look who is benefiting from all this fighting. It's Demon in that bright green livery.
The Green Demon.
As Vinrick said, the green sprite raptor from Demon. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Again, they're coming up to this last corner. Are we gonna? Not quite the last corner. I'm sorry, but are we gonna have another? I mean, they're just going at it. This is 2 laps now.
Yeah, it looks like Steezy may have had a better line through that first corner. Gap is currently half a second through these turns, so once he's able to get on the power. He's doing a little bit of sliding though, and that's going to bring him down a little bit closer to Delps. But looks like he may have opened the gap up a little bit, given him a little bit of breathing room, but not much. If Delps is able to maintain this sort of close racing.
Yeah, just looking further down the field as this battle continues. Nothing up front has changed, and Purple seemingly unable to catch up to Mr. Labu. The gap has stayed pretty consistent, so right now they're relegated to 9th place, and Labu's keeping them there, but Labu is going to be catching up to Demon here, who's obviously catching up to Delps and Steezy, so this train may be reassembling.
More cars maybe being attached to the train.
Oh, as Sango, looks like they overtook, was that Demon? No, I'm sorry, Pato. Okay, so they're just lapping Pato. Pato and Demon have obviously bright green cars.
As Delps takes the inside, Steezy goes wide, and Delps takes the inside, says, thank you very much, I'll take that place back from you. But Steezy getting the inside on this next turn, going side by side once more. Man, these guys are giving us all the action that the rest of the grid isn't.
Yeah, up front we still Arctic, still just chasing Tony Cal. Tony Cal has fastest lap, faster than his qualifying lap, I think.
I think so. Yeah, that boy is rapid.
Yeah, that's right. But right now, this is the battle, this is the fight, and I'm happy we're here to see it.
Easy and Delps really fighting it out, says Vinrick. Yeah, absolutely.
Where that corner where Delps took over, I don't know if it looked like maybe he tapped Steezy Nicks from the behind, maybe outbroke him or didn't expect Steezy. But again, Steezy coming down into T1 thinking there was an opening. Maybe not, but we'll have to see how this plays out as they come down to the short little straight we have here. And you can take this pretty straight on, too.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to change views real quick here. So we can see what Steezy's looking at, basically, which is the rear of Delps at the moment. See what he is looking like. And, I mean, this is some close racing. This is, you really have to give it all to stay this close and prevent any major accidents. But we're going probably, what, 5 laps now? Oh, this is close. This is close.
Oh, this is close. Look at them go. Look at them go. As he's up at the inside, maybe getting a... Oh, Delps just keeping it ahead.
Excellent job by both races.
Absolutely.
We're going to cut back here to the cinematic cam. I need to find the shortcut list. Unfortunately, though, I don't think the passenger is a shortcut on the keyboard, because why wouldn't it be?
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's Gran Turismo. Coming down, Steezy going for the inside line. Delps going wide to try and get a better exit. A little bit of contact there. Steezy got sloppy. Did that force Delps off track? That is going to be noted right there.
Yes, we're going to make note of that. Sure. And that, unfortunately, Delps down in the rear of the pack here. And there's a train behind Steezy with Demon, Purple Urkel, and Mr. Labu. So I'm sure that Delps could be doing his best to try and catch that pack. That is unfortunate. We're gonna make our way down. We have Labu here, Delps. Just trying to see who's close.
Yeah, it's really between Demon, Purple, and Mr. Labu.
I was trying to find which cars were close on my map here. Tony, Cal, and Arctic. Arctic has closed the gap to about half a second.
Yeah, how about that? You're looking up there, and you know what I said before about Purple not getting past Labu. Looks like that has changed, and Mr. Labu is now behind Purple, who is encroaching upon Demon into turn 1. So we have a couple battles at play right now. We'll see how this plays out.
That's fantastic. Yes. Hopefully, I hope that wasn't any contact.
No, Delpis is saying he pushed me off the right track. Well, Delpis, get back in there. Quit typing into Twitch chat. Get that race underway. Obviously, bring it up after the race in the incident report, and any penalties will just be dished out accordingly. You know, like we said before, it just sometimes the constant racing it gets to you, and whether you slip up or you keep trying to push, you know.
I think that's exactly what happened there. I don't think it was anything intentional, but it was you know, where he probably got on the gas a little bit too soon, and then forced his car to the back end to step out, and unfortunately Delps was at the receiving end of that big booty on the MX5 of Steezy Nicks. But again, well, that will be reviewed as we're getting a yellow flag on track. Someone, is that Sakia that spun out?
That's right, yeah, looks like they spun out right there, yep.
Thankfully, no slowdown for these two in the front who are having, you know, their own sort of battle. I don't know if they're battling themselves more than each other at this point or what, because, you know, they really can't, like, Tony can't make a mistake. If he wants to maintain this position, he has to be perfect right on, because the moment he has a mistake, Arctic's going to be right up on him, and I can guarantee you that they're going to make the most of Tony's mistake if it happens.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm sure. And you know, we see the consistency from Tony Cal. I'm sure there's just as much consistency from Arctic being able to be so close in this fight. You know, it's really been wavering between half a second and a second and a half. And, you know, whether that's drivers saying, okay, I need to cool off, you know, not just their tires, but their brains, right?
Mentally, right?
It's demanding mentally. So it's demanding on the tires, too. But this is a good race for those two.
Yeah,
exactly
right.
right.
I mean, it's wild. But
absolutely.
Well, Tony gets a little squirrely on the out. Arctic also goes wide and turns his Mazda into a lawnmower real quick.
I think they make those too.
That's gonna give. I know Honda's the best one. Personally, I'm still trying to install VTEC on my Honda lawnmower.
You know, I'll tell you, when I was looking to buy lawnmowers, I did look at the Honda ones, and I just couldn't afford those.
Yeah, they're. But yeah, that VTEC. Now listen.
Yeah, you know it cuts lawns like none other. Just like looks like Labu having a look at Purple Oracle like none other. Oh my goodness, these 3 and 6, 7, 8 have really closed up the gap to each other.
Yeah, we're actually gonna follow these guys along a little bit here. It looks like Tony's gotten a bit of a lead back on Arctic for the time being. But right now we have Labu racing against Purple for 7th, and Purple Urkel trying to both defend and attack for Demon 6th. However, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the final one for some of these races. Our top end's still going to be going, it looks like. So we'll cut back to Tony Cow, who got pole position, has maintained first place this entire race, and they're on their final lap. I don't think we have any other battles going on at the moment. JD and Mooseman are really
it's just
in
the
their
battle
race.
for P1, which right now is almost a second gap between Tony Cal and Arctic. As Tony takes it across the line for P1, man, that was a close fight for the entire race.
I'm sure both drivers are taking a sigh of relief and untensing real quick and going.
Oh, absolutely. That was intense to watch.
That was a lot of fun to watch. We had a lot of close battles. Unfortunately, some that may have ended worse off than others. And we'll have to take a close look at those after the race. But congratulations to Tony Cow on first place. And following that, we have Arctic in second and JD coming up third. And, I mean, we knew that race was going to spread out for sure. But, you know, it happened a bit faster than I maybe thought originally. And, yeah, we did end up having the DNF of Crispy, who was unfortunately had some internet issues, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they just DC'd, and because I was watching them 1 second and then they just disappeared. So, and yeah, we'll definitely be looking into that contact with Steezy Nix and Delpis. Delpis, you know, it could be because he was frustrated. It could have been an accident, really. We saw his car get sloppy on that exit. It's going to be up for review. Yep. That's all there is to it, unfortunately.
Make sure you save your replay.
Right now, that is. Yeah, make sure you save your replay to submit it. We'll do the same. Tony Cowwood will do the same, I should say. And, you know, it sucks when those things happen. You know, something like that happened in Formula 1 today. And who was it? Stroll hit Gasly. And Gasly's suspension was shot, had to DNF. Stroll only got a 5-second penalty.
You know, ruin someone's race and only get a small penalty, huh?
Yeah, it was really, I think it was a little light-handed to Stroll, but it was a similar thing. You know, in that case, he went off track and rejoined and slammed into Pierre. So, yeah, we'll see, Delpis. You know, again, we don't make these calls in the moment because there's a lot of other things going on, and there's only the two of us, but definitely something that's going to be taken.
Unfortunately, Gran Turismo does not just give us the controls to be able to do that, so.
That's true, too, yeah.
We'll just sit on board here, listen to the humming engine of Arctic's MX5 while we wait for the room to be set up for the reverse grid. Yeah, save replays reminder, exactly. And
I just saved it myself.
Excellent. Good. Actually, you know, I'm gonna fix it here real quick, and I hit spectate once again. I know how this game works. I promise. Save replay, definitely not. You know, a good thing to have a few backups, right?
Yeah, Delpis, take a breather if you can. Come back for this reverse grid where, unfortunately, you'll be starting rather high, but
hey, man, that gives you better position. It gives you
a better position,
you know.
Yeah, we hate to see what happened, but go forward and have fun with the next race, right?
Absolutely.
I wish I was racing today.
No malicious racing. Gotta shrug it off and, you know, go on and continue. So let's get our HUD off and see what's going on. Who's out on track just racing while everyone gets their setups finalized. The room settings get finalized. It would be really cool if you were able to take like there was a reverse grid setting maybe or something like that or maybe just when you make the lobby, if you were able to say how many races you were gonna have, and the game itself could just take that information from the previous race, the results of the previous race, and well, you know.
Yeah, it would be really nice if Polyphony could do that for us. There's some things, man, in this game that I really wish they would just sort out. I think some areas on the map could be consolidated, for one. I think having quick links, you know, for example, going from your garage to GT Auto.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, whatever it might be, doesn't have to, they could just be one button. We don't have to exit all the way.
You mean
the transitions aren't exactly quick.
You don't want to see a second and a half to 2 second fade transition in and out every time you have to change?
They need to look at like current web design, man. You don't if you're for example, if you're opening a mobile menu, you don't have a long animation on that because it's something that you do frequently.
Right, yeah.
It's annoying.
Well, I think it's all to hide a loading screen.
I agree. Come on, we're on SSDs now.
Which is really funny because, I remember when, I guess, last gen consoles were coming out, or maybe it's been a while since I really followed the trend of the consoles, but, there's no loading, or like, less loading, but the loading is just a scene transition instead of a transition.
Yep.
It's, but it's...
Yeah, tell me what's better, a loading bar or screen, or just fades to black. And a little loading animation left. I mean, really, it's interesting, though, and I will say kudos to Sony and Polyphony and Gran Turismo 4 getting this. Not only do they have the game on both PS4 and 5, but we can all play together. I mean, like, obviously, it seems obvious, right? Like, this is what you would do so we can work, and there would be no better way to do it, right?
Right. I just want to really... we didn't really get to take in all of Pato's livery before, and he's got. I just noticed the For the Horde window banner or windshield banner.
Is that there? Let's take a look.
And
all right, and the gorillas.
Well, the gorillas, and on the side, next to the number plate, he's got like a D-pad that says Pato.
Okay, that's really good. So the devil's in the details of this one.
Yeah. I think that's. He said to me, he goes the other day. He goes, I just spent 3 hours putting stickers on my car. What the hell is this game?
Man, if that does, and freedom, yeah, if that doesn't spell delivery. So Pato did sign up as a reserve, and against
for Group 3, right?
For Group 3, yeah, for the Manufacturer Series. Against our suggestions, he did go with the Dodge Viper.
Truly an American gamer, says Vinrick. Truly.
That's exactly right. He is, and he proudly is. Maybe that's why he plays Warrior and WoW. Although hunters can use guns. So.
I'm surprised that his engine notes isn't a bald eagle.
Screaming.
Yeah, screaming, exactly. Alrighty. So here we go. Race number 2. Hopefully we see some more close racing like we had earlier. And it is a reverse grid, of course. So Pato, Zug over here, will be getting the chance to lead the race.
Hey, Wally, did you bring your singles? Because I'm about to bet that Pato's going off into turn 1.
We're doing side bets now on broadcast? Excellent.
Live side bets. Yeah. Delpis changed the 4GT. It's a good car. Tony Cal did good racing in it, but we'll talk about the Manufacturer Series later as we're getting this second MX5 Cup underway. Okay.
We see Sakio going off. I don't know if they were hit or they just outbroke themselves, but Pato currently in first place, followed by Delps in second, Labu in third. Delps passes Pato's. Pato, I don't know if
Pato just hanging out slow on the right there. There looks like some contact there.
We had Demon doing a spin. We had Pato going off, and hopefully no one else got scathed in that. We're actually going to jump to our one of our lower places here. Oh, what's going on now? The keyboard.
That's right. We have a train back here. We absolutely have a train back here. P9, it looks like. And everyone's pretty close. But up in front, Delpis creating quite a gap. Trying to get away. Oh, but who's that? Labu coming up. Oh, how did Arctic...
Man, Arctic might have benefited from... He might have benefited from the crash and the spinning that happened earlier. So, all right, well, we got a few things to check out this race already.
Oh, lots going on for sure.
All righty, so let's make sure these keyboard shortcuts are working all right, because for whatever reason they weren't doing what they were supposed to do earlier. So, Labu is up in first right now. Quickly, Arctic got past Delps real quick all of a sudden, and let's see, we got Delps down in third. We got JD in fourth. Tony Cal coming off fifth, although he's started last, so again, probably benefited from some of the shenanigans that occurred.
Definitely some contact there in the back of the grid. Seiko, I think, just sent it.
against who? Did you happen to see? No?
I didn't see who they hit. No, I'm sorry. You broke up a little there.
Okay. Oh, Tony's going wide off in the grass. Tony Talgo from 5th place down to 6th. He's going to be battling Moose for 5th place, and Purple Urkel looking saying to him that spot's looking like a snack.
That's right. Speaking of snacks, I'm a little hungry. Hungry for more close racing as we see Purple Urkel getting up on Tony Cal. These reverse grids, man, they just put so much chaos into place.
Clearly, that's all we're seeing as we see Demon passing Sakia back there and Steezy Nick's down in the 9th. This is some wild stuff we got going on. It's like we got 3 separate battles going on at the moment. We have the battle for first between Labu, Arctic, and Dubs. We got the battle for 4th. Well, JD is up in 4th as well. He's pretty close to Dubs, I suppose. We got the battle for like 5th and 6th. And then we got the train behind him where we got Steezy and Demon and Sakia.
Yeah, I don't know if Sakia's having lag or their tires got dirty and you're really suffering because as they go off into the grass once more, trying to carry too much speed into that last corner. So they're just getting really squirrely before too, about half a lap ago. So
it could be lag. I think that they were with us in some of the preseason. I can't remember if it was race or two. And you're hoping that would mean that they didn't have any lag, but things change. Obviously, it's rough having the international lobby as far as the lag goes. If that's what's affecting it could be that maybe they're just not practicing the MX5. Maybe they're not practicing at this track. And
I do believe this is the most what the track is, right at the beginning.
Yes, It'll any wetness on the track or moisture.
Oh, we've got a battle going to P5. Battle between Tony Cal and Moose for P5. Right behind Delps in P4. And behind them is Purple trying to hang on.
Purple's going to benefit from this battling going on right now, but Delps maintaining 4th place right now. Moose is right on his tail, and Tony is right on their tail as he goes into the grass once again. But going into this first turn here, Moose has a look up on the inside. I don't think he's going. He might be patient as Delps goes a little bit wide, leaving that room for the other guys. This is a close battle, though, and Tony's going to benefit, and Purple's definitely going to benefit from any sort of slowing down that these guys have by having to defend or, anything like that. Again, crossing figures, no shenanigans, no bumping each other, but some good, clean racing.
That's right, and up in front, Arctic. It's like a gap of 2.5 plus seconds to Mr. Labus here. They're just getting away with this right now.
Arctic must have benefited the most from whatever happened in, the beginning, the first lap.
Yeah, with Demon and people spinning out.
And, I mean, we saw earlier, we're going to jump up to Labu real quick as he's battling with JD. Labu didn't really have the pace as compared to Arctic and Tony Cal.
Ooh, Tony Cal going wide there.
But, this might be Arctic's race just to run away with. Jump back down to the battle for 5th, 4th, I guess, with between Delps, Moose, Tony, and Purple. Purple closing in there on Tony Cal behind them.
Yeah, Tony Cal went onto the grass at the exit of turn 1. He ate too much. He was too greedy with track limits there.
Funny how
actually, he didn't get a penalty for it, but the penalty is going right on the grass.
Yeah. Funny, he had a very clean race from what we saw. Obviously, a few mistakes here and there in the first one, but he was able to. He had held first for the entire race, and I'm sure he's a bit eager to get back up there as he sees Arctic just maintaining first place now.
JDLP making a move on Labu, trying to go on the outside.
Jump up to those two real quick. Turning another lap 7 here at Tsukuba. His reverse right here. JD's going to have the inside over these two. We leave the space once more. And JP is going to take second place there from Labu. That was a good move. That was well done. Kudos to both drivers.
Oh, Moose Man behind. Turning right on a straight. Lets Tony Cal and Purple Urkel by.
Delps is going to be thanking Moose for making that mistake. Gives him a bit of breathing room before Tony Cal catches up to him, and
Oh, Moose cannot recover. Steezy Nick's coming up now. Oh my god. Oh, and Demon Moose all the way back down to P9 currently.
Holy
that did not
moly.
turn out well for them.
What
Yeah,
what
you know,
what happened there?
their tires got dirty, and they just didn't have traction to get back on it on track.
At this pace,
That's something I noticed.
Paddle might be back in this race.
Well, I'll tell you, we raced these not around the circuit the other day, but Moose Man made a mistake, and I kept it behind. So you never know. Paddle may very well be back in this race, which you know what? All this is going to be good for Paddle to see experience and just get a feel for the car and driving these actual races, right? Something that we were talking about. Gran Turismo doesn't introduce you to real racing, and I don't know why.
It's very strange. Well, we were talking about the menu books, and I said to Pat, I'm like, that's probably the fastest way for you to get some racing experience and get the cars for sure. But they don't introduce any actual race cars really, and I mean until like way later you start getting into like 700 performance point races, and I think maybe 800 was the max at the tail end. For the Le Mans race, if I remember correctly. But
yeah, I
they
didn't even
really
get that far
don't
yet.
introduce it, and I think that's really unfortunate because to me that's like the bread and butter of this game. And
well, and that's like the end goal. And we go back to WoW. Actually, looking at Twitch chat, Rick used to play WoW with Pato, and he was also a warrior. But like going back to WoW, people always say there's two games in WoW. It's the leveling, and then there's the end game content. And Gran Turismo, the end game is the daily races or lobbies and stuff like that, which obviously you get access to pretty early on in the menus. But as I'm sorry, Mooseman just made a move on Demon.
Man, I thought Mooseman was going wide, and then he did, and I don't know what Demon just did, but he handed the position to Mooseman. It seems like they're both making mistakes. Steezy going over the curve over the grass, like he's trying to get away from these two. He's like, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah, no, that was a great move by Mooseman, I gotta say.
I know.
And just to bring the battle up front again, we see the gap between Tony Cal and Purple. Or Purple just can't seem to keep up, and I get it, But Tony Cal is closing up on Delps, who's closing up on Mr. Labu, and then just a mile away is Arctic.
Yeah, I
5-second gap now.
Oof. Yeah, this definitely Arctic's race to lose then in that case. But you know what? I think Purple's going to be someone to keep our eye on as the series goes on, because clearly they have the pace and they're maybe a good midfield contender who they seem to be fairly consistent as they went maybe a bit deep there. I'm not sure, but Tony loving to cut in the grass here. But I think Purple's going to be someone to keep our eye on. Sneezy also seems to be someone pretty strong who, again, they're making the most out of the mistakes of those in front of them, and I mean that's a way to make positions up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And Arctic, who's brand new, and I'm so happy joined us for the race today. So it's good to see new faces and people maybe that we don't recognize or haven't raced with much in preseason are shaping up, and it's looking pretty good. We'll have our pole contenders, and we'll have our midfielders, and that's okay. You'll figure out who your targets are, who you're actually racing, right? And maybe that's what Demon did with Mooseman. I mean, no shade against Demon at all, but maybe he just said Moose isn't my goal or my target right now.
Demon may also just not be, I don't think a lot of these drivers are super comfortable with these MX5s.
Yeah, maybe they underestimated it,
I think I was just going to say, I think a lot of people, they think it's not a fast car. I mean, yeah, in comparison to the Group 3 or anything else, it's not fast, but it's got a certain way of driving. I think with these cars, momentum is super, super important. And this is a track where there's not really a whole lot of elevation, but something like Watkins Glen, Brands Hatch, where there is more elevation, where and granted this isn't the stock Miata, so it's got more power than like a standard stock Miata, but where the momentum's going to matter a bit more. It would benefit people to definitely learn the car a bit more. And I gotta say, we haven't commented on Delp Delivery yet, but I'm actually enjoying the Marlboro Delivery quite a bit.
Yeah, it doesn't quite look like the Marlboro Red that I know. Maybe it's just the light and the gloomy, but it does look like it does look clean despite promoting smoking. JDLPs. Wow, Delp's right up behind them. This is a train for P2.
This is Delp's definitely leading the train. I mean, listen, Labu, like we said, I don't think has the pace really, and these guys are slowly starting to catch up. Delp's had the pace earlier. Unfortunately, you know, if that contact ruined his race earlier with Steezy, but clearly having the pace to be able to keep up with
absolutely
at the moment. And as we see, Delp's take third place from JD. They're going too wide into the final turn as we turn another lap here. Labu maintaining second place. Delp's up into third.
Tony Cal,
looking for
a run up on JDLP.
JD, as we swap over to cam on JD's. And man, I know he's that we're actually gonna try and jump into the interior shot for this real quick, as Tony Cal is within 200 of a second. He got the inside, and boom, just like that, Tony Cal is going to take fourth place away from JD, leaving Purple trying to clean up some scraps from JD. And then in Tony's rearview mirror, we see the little happy face of JD's Miata. I don't think he's going to be too happy that he was just passed, but...
Yeah, we're going to have to turn that smile upside down. I think Tony Cal really saw Delps, you know, get ahead and say, okay, all right, it's been fun, JD, but it's time to make a move on.
I think, yeah, you know, I think it was important that he made that move as soon as possible if he wanted to fight for the podium at this point, right? Pace-wise, it looks like it's going to be a matter of time for Delps and Tony to be passing Labu, unless someone makes a mistake. You know, again, we've seen it before. We've seen it 1,000 times at this point. It feels like where one mistake can just ruin your race, whether it was a mistake on your part or someone else's, or you know, what have you. So, but things are getting mighty close here. We're gonna jump up at the Delps here as he's attacking Mr. Labu, not afraid of getting eaten up by the back of that car, and the pumpkin with the cool shades for the license plate. I'm liking that, Mr. Labu.
Yeah, Mr. Labu is quite a gorgeous person, I guess. So, you know.
I was gonna try and squash that pun before it happened, but I wasn't as confident.
Well, you know, it was just off the vine for picking, I guess.
Oh, I think you really strung that along with spaghetti, didn't you? Spaghetti squats for anyone that's not familiar. Anyway, back to the racing.
As you've got a fight there, I've got a fight right now between Steezy and Nixon Mooseman for P7. They've been going at it now for, I think, a lap and a half.
Holy moly, that was some hard braking from Delps.
Delps is hungry. I can't blame him.
Not at all, but it does look like Labu got a better exit made out of that first turn. He's got to defend from Tony. I think Tony's got to be patient right now. Tony's got to be patient and kind of just follow Delps through, though. Tony looks like he's having a look on the inside of Delps, and that gap is now nothing, basically, as Tony backs out a little bit to live for another day. The gap to Labu now 1 second, so Delps had to do a lot of defending there from Tony, and I think that may have slowed him down. Goes a little bit, goes sideways, Delps. And that gives Tony the room on the inside.
There it is. Delps got greedy. Delps got greedy, is now staring at the back of Tony Cal.
We've talked about it before, and Tony Cal, if you're going to blame anyone for intimidation, it seems that drivers like to blame Tony Cal for the intimidating aura he has in your rearview mirror.
I have to agree. I fell victim to it myself. You know, we'll go around, I'm talking myself up. Oh yeah, I'm running these lap times, and then Tony Cal's around. It's like an intimidation aura, but sometimes an oppressive aura, man. All of a sudden, my car's got 50 less horsepower.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
This is definitely a battle for the podium here, and I mean, kudos to Labu for maintaining that position, and you know, he's able to make the most out of the battle between Tony and Delps. But now, if Tony's able to get away from the Delps at all, he's gonna be coming for that pumpkin.
That's exactly right, and you know, I think he's probably pretty hungry too.
I agree. Yeah, Vinrick saying Tony really wanted to pass everyone. Absolutely.
Yeah, Tony's hungry. He's ready. You know what? If P1 is out of the question, he's definitely looking for that P2.
Yeah, I mean, Arctic now. We're gonna, you know, what's the gap that Arctic has now on Labu?
Over 10.5 seconds now.
Whew. I mean, that's consistency, but that's also just, you know, him being able to run away with it. And listen, again, we talk about making the most out of mistakes and something like that. He clearly was able to just tear up the field during the little upset that we had in the opening lap.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, if he was just able to stay out of it and get ahead, and let's face it, Tony Cal also was able to get ahead because of that. Maybe obviously not the distance that Arctic did, but it's working out well for them. Now, this is something that we see in other races as well. It almost seems to me like Mr. Labu, who is not a bad racer by any means, but Mr. Labu almost seems like the cork that's keeping them behind. You know, doing well enough to drive, again, very consistent and defensive enough to keep people at bay behind them, but really wondering what Tony Cal's going to be able to do in the remaining laps if and when he gets past him.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to try and make up time now if he's going to pass him at all, right? And listen, even still, to come back from the back of the grid from dead last and to pull a podium finish on third would be great. I'm sure he wants a second place, but he's just got to be consistently faster. As we see, I think, that's Pato on the grass. Maybe he's
he's blue flagging and said, "I just want to get the hell out of the way." I think
he might have seen the train. You know, he might have seen the train of drivers behind him and said, "You know, I know I'm not racing these guys." And I know it's super intimidating as a new driver. That number one, you're jumping into a racing series, but number two, as we see Tony close that gap now down to just under 200 seconds, right?
Yeah, 1/10.
1/10.
I mean,
holy, Tony goes a little
killing
sideways
it right
there,
now.
man. This is we're gonna have to keep an eye on this as this goes on. But the last thing that Pato wanted to do when he was talking to me earlier this week was ruining anybody's race. You know, he doesn't want to get, and he knows he's not necessarily racing these guys. So if he's not really having a race, then pull off. Yes, like, you know, I'm not going to blame the guy.
I can't blame
at all.
I can't blame him because you know what? At that point, I might have done the same. Seen the Struve, the train of people behind him. You know.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I still have a hard time following people. You know, in lobbies and whatnot, because like I was saying earlier, I don't want to be the result of an accident. It happens from time to time. Yeah, but you know,
I get it. You know, and I think that comes with experience, and also you have to trust the people that you're playing with, right?
Yes.
And that more than anything comes with time. Tony Cal having a run, flashing for the pass.
And he has the inside of this corner and takes second place away from Wabu as we come into the final turn of lap 19. Going on to lap 20 here, and Delps coming up here on Wabu as well, within half a second almost. So Delps may be fighting for a podium here as well. Kudos, you know, for coming back after a race that didn't end well for them last time.
Yeah, no, exactly right. And Tony Cal really, look at that gap already now, almost a second between himself. Like I said, I feel like Mr. Labu was the cork who we saw race brilliantly last week in the manufacturing series race.
Yeah, again, it might be the MX5 not agreeing with people, or them not agreeing with the MX5, you know. And we're going to cut behind us real quick. I think it's 8th and 9th place. I saw some close driving happening. I just wanted to, at least on the map for 7th, it looks like Moose maybe getting closer to Steezy, but I mean, right now he's over a second out, closer to a second and a half.
They've been going back and forth, and I got to say, they've really been going back and forth this entire race. Moose's car looked a little worse for wear there, but it's been close racing for them. Again, Moose just being unable to make up this places after he dropped back, so that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's also tough though. Tony's, you know, someone who, Tony and Delps, they've been in that pack for a long time, right? And at least if you have other cars around you or battling around you, it's easier to make up the spots. But if it's just you and someone else, realistically, I mean, you're not making up places. It's harder to make up those places. With
exactly right.
You know, and on a track like this and these cars, you can't really even say, well, try to work together to close the gap. I mean, you know, if we take a look at Steezy, it's a 12-second gap between Steezy and the next place up. So realistically, it's just a fight between these two for 7th at this point.
Yeah, and you know what? More power to them. This is laps on laps at this point, where the two of them have been just fighting, and I just hope that it doesn't end up like Delps and Steezy last race. But again, I don't think that was malicious, but shit happens, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
We're not,
As JD up ahead, mind you, he went off the track and they lost some spaces for it.
unfortunate. You hate to see it.
I hate to see it, but Delps is keeping up with Mr. Labu there. Delps may end up on the podium for this race.
I was just gonna say we're gonna cut back to these two and see how they're doing here. It's, I mean, he's within a second of Mr. Labu. Mr. Labu is probably desperately hoping the race is gonna end now.
Yeah, for us, Mr. Labu, it would end right with them in P2. But
unfortunately, we still have a few laps. So.
Yeah, yep, that's right. But hey, that's more for our enjoyment, right?
Absolutely. All right, so if we're gonna call the race how it is now, obviously Arctic ran away with first, and that's how this is gonna end. Tony Cal running away with second. I'm sure if Dubs is gonna have any chance of catching Tony, he needs to pass Labu this lap.
And even at that, you know, that's a tall order.
It is. And so I can see if Delps continues the way he's racing right now, I think it's going to be an Arctic P1, Tony P2, Delps P3.
Yeah, P3 is obviously very much up for grabs. And I think Labu or Delps would be happy to be there. But Delps, again, from the incident last race with Steezy, looking very hungry.
Yeah,
looking for that P3, wants to make up those points, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, again, talk about someone who's just kind of sticking around with the pack, though. Purple, down in fifth, not super far behind Delps, just over a second. And the more fighting that Delps and Labu do, the better that is for Purple, who may end up being able to take a, you know, bite out of Labu.
That's exactly right. And really, JD is not doing themselves any help. Looks like they have track limits penalty as well. They're in their own race now, and it looks like unless anything major happens, they're relegated to 6th place. And I mean, you know what? If something happens between Delps and Mr. Labu, Purple could be looking at a P4 finish.
That's absolutely serious. He goes a little wide and gets his rear end a little out there. This is going Delps. Possibly he's going around the outside of this turn. Not the fastest line, but he may be able to get on the power a little bit sooner as we come up to this next right-hander. He falls back in line behind Mr. Labu, though, and playing the long game, playing the long con. He's trying to be patient, but definitely wants to get this moved on sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, once you get that fresh air, I'm sure his Miata's, you know, begging for some clean air.
I'm sure. He helps someone who I know the Group 3 race we had last week, they weren't in the car that they liked. Unfortunately, apparently they really liked the track he was at, but the car they were driving, the Viper, which just wasn't working for him. And I think now they're swapping, like I said earlier, they're swapping to the Ford. And hopefully they're happier in that. So I'm happy to see them in a car that might be better suited for them, and seeing how they do. Because if they're able to perform like this in the Group 3 series as they're performing here today in the MX5 Cup, then I think that'll spell for some good racing.
I think so too. I always like to have another contender anywhere along the field, really.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But you also got to give props to Labu right now for, you know, maintaining third, and I don't see him giving up super easily right now.
I mean, let's face it, Labu has, again, to talk about intimidation, but Labu has had someone in his rearview mirror this entire race, and to be holding, you know, couldn't hold Tony back, but is doing a great job for laps upon laps upon laps, and all it takes is one upset, one moment for that gap to open. So again, Delps got to be patient, like we said before, just like Tony Cow was. And again, unfortunately, that patience isn't going to give you a race win, but it could give you the spot. It could give you just no accidents, right? You don't want to wreck your own race. You don't want to wreck anyone else's race.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, especially coming from where he was the previous race as well with Steezy. So we see him closing up this gap, getting really close to Labu's rear end here, and we only have a few laps to go, right? And again, if he's gonna make the move, I think it's gonna come down to these last few laps here, and I just hope that both these drivers are able to maintain the clean racing that they're doing. As we come down the back straight and we come on this long right-hander, which you want to pull, you really want as much speed as possible. As Delps has a look on the inside of Labu, looks like he might have a great, oh man, they get sideways.
Oh!
I don't know if there was a bit of contact there or not. Labu looks like they may have bitten off a bit more than they could chew or what, or if Delps may have pushed them wide. We're going to drive that down. If not, if it was a legitimate pass and Labu just spun a bit wide, I mean, kudos to Delps for, making that happen, maybe pushing the intimidation factor. Unfortunately for Labu, that's going to put them down to 5th, and that's going to give JD, who, wasn't racing anybody, now has a chance to be fighting for 5th within these last few laps of the race. He's just about he's about half a minute less than that actually from Mr. Labu.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They're very close, and that sucks to see for Mr. Labu, but at least JD does have someone to race along. And Purple P4, consistent, consistent driving.
We're actually going to take a look. Actually, I'm going to keep an eye on these two, but look behind them too. I think Moose and Easy might be having.
Oh, they've been going at it for. I mean, honestly, I think since like lap 13. It's ridiculous.
Kudos to the drivers, though. Again.
Absolutely. Good, clean, close racing. And part of that is these MX5 cars.
Absolutely,
Part the drivers.
It's again what we were hoping for, and it looks like we're getting that out of these races. So I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of the series here as we're going through lap 28 here at Tsukuba. And we will be alternating these with the Group 3 races. But I gotta be honest, first 2 races of our series have been pretty exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we get into next week as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Group 3 races. I think these being, one on, one off it's good because it gives us different subjects to view, really. Like, these are different races. Oh, as Labu and JD going wide there, mowing more of that grass. That poor grass is already dead, leave it be.
We're going to cut back to the guys behind him and take a look at Moose and Easy as the last couple of battles that are going on in this race. Man, these guys just going at it back and forth. Kudos to Steve for holding Moose off, and Moose really for keeping up and making this fun for them both, I'm sure. That grass patch looking a lot like mud right now. So absolutely. There's only so much abuse it can take.
Yeah, it's tired, man. Get it?
Go home.
It's tired.
Yeah. That's really funny.
Yeah, but it is.
Getting exhausted from all these car puns.
Oh, God.
Man, I fold.
Is that a car joke?
Anyway, we're now having it was a manifold, Brian.
Yeah, there it is.
Jeez.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
We're getting the final laps and black and white flags for some of these races. Moose ends up going wide, taking P8. Easy holding on to P7. It looks like Delps ends up on the podium here for his final lap, and then third. Really good race from Delps to come back this reverse grid and climbing the field along with some of the other drivers. Purple coming in 4th, man. I mean, great job. Again, just kind of
honestly, even at the end there.
Yeah.
But at the end, Purple maybe was looking at a peak from at Delps. I don't think that had the time, but it was great.
Absolutely. And Mr. Labu unfortunately catching some grass, and that spells his race. Someone who was in P2 for the longest time.
Yeah, that's right.
Unfortunately, that's it. So, congratulations to one of our newcomers, Arctic, on the race win for the reverse grid. Ooh, I like their outfit too. It's fancy.
Oh, that is sharp, yeah. 9
race positions here. We're going to cut over to the results real quick as we take a look. So, Arctic also had the fastest lap of a 1:06. That's quick. That's
rapid. That was, I think, a little bit faster than Tony Cowell's last race.
It was. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, But realistically, all Arctic had for the rest of the race was time trials.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, they ended up way ahead of everybody else. Tony Cal coming in second, and Delps with the podium finish in third. As we were saying before, Purple coming in fourth. Great result for them as a newcomer. Mr. Labu, listen, I wouldn't be upset taking fifth in this reverse grid race as well, especially being that, you know, the mistake that they made was towards the end of the race where the grid was really spread out. So, you know, you hate to see it, but at the same time, you know, I think at the end of the day, he was battling for fourth. Maybe Delps was probably going to make that move at some point if it wasn't right.
Yeah, I think Delps was gonna have to force that move one way or another,
Yeah.
and Mr. Labu maybe just gave it up a lap or two beforehand, but we saw it coming. Would have been good to see some more defense from Labu, but you know, like we said, they had been defending all race, and
Absolutely.
really a proper race from them. JD unfortunately was up there for a while before going wide and relegating them down to P6. Again, a consistent racer though. That was really good to see.
And someone that when they're battling someone, it seems like they're able to pull off some moves and race respectfully. So definitely love to see that. Followed by Steezy next to, who had a pretty good race both races. You know, he was kind of I don't want to say in no man's land because he had Moose basically in his mirror or fighting with him for almost the entire race. But probably didn't see a whole lot of action. As we go on to the next page, Demon coming up 9th, Sakia in 10th, and Pato, our resident Zugger, coming in 11th. Realistically, though, I mean, first race is really for Pato. Sakia we haven't seen much of. Demon I know is strong in the Group 3, and definitely trying to make up some pace in his MX5. Overall, though,
Yeah, for sure.
a very exciting race, and I'm looking forward to an exciting series here.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was a really good race overall, you know, and I'm excited. I really think that maybe some of the racers underestimated the Roadster, and that, you know, so that lack of practice caught up with them, and maybe it'll be different in 2 weeks' time.
Absolutely, you know, and I think these guys will probably walk away today. Everyone's learned a few lessons here and there, and you know, they'll be coming back maybe a bit more prepared for next time. So next week we are back to our manufacturer Group 3 series, where we will be racing at Road Atlanta. So that'll be exciting.
Fantastic track.
Great track. Love that track. Went there for Grid Life years ago now, it feels like, and it was awesome to see cars going sideways. This time though, we'll be seeing grip cars in our series, and like I said, we'll be able to see all of the racers who have changed manufacturers. We allowed them up until this race to make some changes if they wanted to, as long as that was open. The next time you'll see the MX5s will be on July 23rd, where we'll be at Watkins Glen. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Another fantastic track.
That track.
Oh, forget about it. These cars around Watkins Glen. I mean, any car around Watkins Glen it's just a fantastic track that again lends itself to some close rating and really makes the difference, I feel like, between great racers and good racers. You know, there's a lot of time to be made up in those the corners and straights of Watkins Glen. But Road Atlanta next week with our Group 3 Manufacturers Series, it's going to be a race for sure. I know our guys have been doing, or our racers have been doing a lot of testing already.
Yeah, absolutely. We're testing that. We're trying out different tire wear and fuel wear, I believe, as well, to see how things run at Road Atlanta. But definitely very much looking forward to that. So thank you to everyone for joining us today. Apologize for any sort of technical issues that we had at the beginning, but it looks like we got everything sorted. And Ryan, you got anything else?
No, that's it. I've got to go let my wife in the house. So with that, I appreciate everyone tuning in. It's been a fun race, and really looking forward to next Sunday. Join us again. We'll be live on Twitch next Sunday at 1 p.m. EST or 1300, if that is your jam. And looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a great rest of your day.
Cheers, everyone.